I used to be the high school football hero. Now I stock shelves and nobody remembers me. They still talk about that game. Last quarter, last play, last time I ever felt like I was somebody. If you blinked, you'd have missed it. But for a moment, under those bright Friday night lights with the entire town of Brookside screaming my name, I was everything they said I'd be. A hero, a legend, a ticket out. And then, pop. A sound I'll never forget. My knee twisting, my body collapsing, the ball slipping from my fingers. A final pass that never landed. Cheers turning into silence. That was the night I peaked at 17. That was the night my life split in two. Everyone in Brookside knows football. It's not just a sport here, it's religion. Every Friday night, people pack the stands like it's a holy ritual. They wear school colors, bring signs, scream until their lungs give out. The whole town shuts down for the game. You're either on the field or in the bleachers. No one misses it. Back then, I was the main event. My name's Jace Miller. Quarterback. Number 12. I wasn't just good, I was the guy. Coaches from nearby schools came to watch me throw. College scouts sent letters. People said I had a cannon for an arm and ice in my veins. I loved it. Not just the game, the feeling, the adrenaline. The way people looked at me, like I mattered. Like I was going somewhere. My dad used to say I was born to play. He coached me from the time I could hold a ball. Drills in the backyard, taped fingers, film nights instead of movie nights. When I got my first helmet, he took a picture and said, "This is your future, son." And for a while, it looked like he was right. Our team was on fire that year. Undefeated season. Brookside hadn't seen anything like it in decades. We were headed to state. And everyone knew it was because of me. That final game? We were down by 4. 10 seconds left. 4th down. Coach called a Hail Mary. It was supposed to be the moment they'd replay on highlight reels. The miracle throw. The one that would cement my name in town history. I took the snap, dodged a sack, saw Danny sprinting downfield, let it fly. Then my world exploded. My knee buckled. I heard the pop before I hit the turf, pain like fire. The crowd's roar turning into static. I didn't even see if the pass connected. He still worked night shifts at the grocery store a few times a week. The fluorescent lights and linoleum floors were far from glamorous, but they grounded him. Still, something had changed. When people recognized him now, it wasn't just, "Weren't you that quarterback?" It was, "Hey coach, my kid talks about you nonstop." Or, "My nephew finally joined the team. Says it's because of you." One Friday night near the season's end, the JAV team played under the stadium lights. The stands were fuller than anyone expected. The band played loud and off-key. The buzz of old Friday night magic filled the air. They were down by 3, 10 seconds on the clock, 4th down. Eli jogged over to the sideline, his nerves barely concealed beneath his helmet. "What play, coach?" he asked. Jace looked at the scoreboard, then at the boy in front of him. He smiled. "Same one I called when I was in your shoes. Hail Mary, you got this." Eli hesitated. "You really think I can make it?" Jace didn't blink. "You already have." The ball was snapped. Eli dodged a defender. He stepped into the throw. And for the first time in years, Jace didn't watch the ball. He watched the way Eli's shoulders relaxed. He watched the moment the receiver caught it in the end zone. He watched Eli light up, point across the field at him with a grin that cracked the night wide open. And in that moment, Jace understood something he'd never said aloud. His glory days weren't behind him. They had simply changed shape. Spoiler, it didn't. Danny got blindsided. The ball hit the ground. Game over, season over, everything over. I don't remember much about the hospital. Just the white lights and my dad's hand squeezing mine too tight. Torn ACL, clean tear. Fixable, the doctor said. But not in time for college recruiters. Not when they were already eyeing the next kid up. Not when they wanted results now. One by one, the letters stopped coming. The calls dried up. The recruiters ghosted. My backup Jeremy started getting offers. Full ride to a D3 school. He had half my talent, but 2 working knees. I tried to stay hopeful, went through rehab, kept throwing the ball around, told myself I'd bounce back. But something inside me cracked that night. A quiet realization. I wasn't special anymore. After graduation, I didn't go to college. I had planned to, obviously, that was the dream. But without football, I couldn't afford it. My grades were okay, not scholarship level. My folks didn't have the money, so I stayed in Brookside. Got a job at the local grocery store, night shift. It was supposed to be temporary, just until I figured things out. That was 6 years ago. Now I stock shelves from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Clean up spills, break down boxes, listen to classic rock on the overhead speakers. Sometimes I'll hear Glory Days by Springsteen and want to punch something. Nobody calls me Jace the QB anymore, just stock guy. Hey, shelf boy, where's the ranch dressing? Every once in a while, someone recognizes me. Hey, didn't you play for Brookside? That 2016 team? I nod. Yeah, that was me. They smile, maybe slap me on the shoulder. Hell of a game, man. Shame about your knee. Then they walk away. They always walk away. Sometimes I wonder if I made the whole thing up. The crowds, the cheers, the glory. It feels like a movie I watched once. A dream I woke up from. Like someone else wore that jersey. The only thing that reminds me it was real is the scar on my knee. And the football I keep under my bed. Every night before I sleep, I go out to the backyard and throw it once. Just one clean spiral. Doesn't matter if anyone's there to catch it. I just need to feel it. Need to remember. 2 weeks ago, I got invited to a Brookside football alumni BBQ. Coach is retiring. They're bringing back old players to celebrate. Everyone's buzzing about it. Jeremy's going to be there. Danny, too. Even some of the guys who went on to college ball. I wasn't going to go. What's the point? Just more people saying, man, what happened to you? But then I saw the invite said they'd be playing a friendly flag football game. And something in me twitched. A whisper. You've still got one throw left. After losing everything he thought defined him, Jace Miller, once the pride of Brookside High, now lives a quiet life stocking shelves and throwing lonely spirals into the night. But when an invite arrives for the coach's retirement party and a friendly flag football game, something old and restless begins to stir. The BBQ was set for a Saturday afternoon. I almost didn't go. My uniform, if you could call it that, was a pair of jeans and a plain gray hoodie. I hadn't worn cleats in years and my sneakers were barely holding it together. I stood in front of the mirror for 5 minutes trying to convince myself not to turn around. But then I remembered the feeling of that football leaving my hand. And I went. Coach's backyard was already packed when I got there. Fold-out tables, grill smoke in the air, country music playing too loud. Guys I hadn't seen in years stood around in their team shirts like we were 17 again. Jeremy saw me first. Well, if it isn't the Golden Arm himself, he said, grinning as he pulled me into a hug. Still throwing lasers at the grocery store or what? I chuckled, but it stung. Everything people say to me now feels like a pat on the head. A reminder that my best days are behind me. Danny came over, tossed me a beer, clapped my back. We're up in 5, he said. You in? I nodded. I didn't trust my voice yet. They handed out flag belts. There were a few younger guys mixed in, sons of old teammates, probably wondering who the washed-up dude in the hoodie was. But once I stepped onto that field, Coach's backyard stretched just wide enough, it all came back. The feel of turf, the sun in my eyes, the quiet before the snap. My first few passes were rusty, wobbly, but then my body remembered. Second half, tie game. I saw Danny break free, didn't think, just launched it. Spiral, tight, clean. The kind of throw that makes the world stop for half a second. He caught it. Touchdown. Everyone whooped and ran over. Someone slapped my shoulder. Jeremy yelled, "There he is." That's the Jace we remember. And for a moment, it didn't matter what came after high school. Didn't matter that I stocked shelves or lived alone or hadn't thrown a real pass in years. For that split second, I was back. After the game, Coach pulled me aside. He looked older than I remembered. Smaller somehow, but his eyes were sharp. You still got it, he said. That throw was pure. I shrugged. One good spiral doesn't change much. He nodded slowly, then said something I didn't expect. You ever think about coaching? I blinked. What? You know the game. You've lived the highs and the lows. These kids need someone who's been there. I'm retiring. They're looking for someone to take over JV next season. Just part-time. Nothing fancy. I didn't answer right away. Coach handed me a folded slip of paper. Just think about it. The field doesn't care who you used to be. It cares who you show up as now. I went home that night and threw the football one more time. The air was cooler, the sky darker, but something in me felt lighter. I thought about my old helmet, the team photo, the way my dad used to pace the sidelines with pride. I thought about what it might feel like to give another kid a reason to believe in himself. Not because of the wins, but because someone believed in him when the rest of the world moved on. That slip of paper is still sitting on my kitchen counter. I haven't called yet. But for the first time in a long time, I feel like maybe my story isn't over. Maybe I wasn't just born to throw the ball. Maybe I was born to pass it on. Recap. Jace Miller, once a high school football hero, thought his glory days were long gone. But after a flag football game reignites something in him and his former coach offers a chance to coach the JV team, Jace begins to question whether his story is really over. The morning after the alumni BBQ, Jace found himself pacing his tiny kitchen, turning coach's offer over in his mind like a coin between his fingers. The phone sat silently on the counter until, on instinct more than courage, he picked it up and dialed. The call rang out to voicemail. He almost ended it right there. But something deep and half-buried pushed him forward. "Hey, Coach, it's Jace. I'd like to talk about that JV job, if it's still open." Coach returned the call 20 minutes later with a warm chuckle and the words, "Took you long enough." Stepping onto the field again, this time as a coach rather than a player, felt like walking through a memory. The scent of fresh-cut grass, the shrill blast of whistles, the thud of cleats on turf. Everything was the same, yet nothing was. The faces looking back at him weren't teammates anymore. They were kids. Most of them barely filled out their uniforms. 14, maybe 15 years old, wobbling under the weight of shoulder pads. Some had the fire Jace remembered from his own youth, wide-eyed and eager. Others moved cautiously as if the field might bite them. One of the boys wore his helmet backward for nearly 10 minutes before Jace gently corrected him. It should have been overwhelming, but it wasn't. Somehow it felt like home. As the season unfolded, Jace poured himself into the role. He stayed after practice, set up extra drills, answered every question. The players started staying late, too. One of them, Eli, reminded Jace a little too much of his younger self. Eli was quiet, always watching. He had a natural throwing arm, clean and controlled. But he hesitated, overthought every step. During one scrimmage, Eli fumbled a handoff and kicked the ground in frustration. The other players laughed, but Jace didn't join in. After practice, Jace called him over and tossed him a ball. "You know what makes a great quarterback?" he asked. Eli shrugged, mumbling something about arm strength. Jace shook his head. "Short memory. The good ones forget the bad plays, the great ones learn from them, then move on." Eli stared at the ground, then back up at Jace. Something shifted behind those eyes. He didn't fumble again the rest of the season. Word spread around town. Jace Miller was back. At first, the kids didn't care about who he used to be. To them, he was just coach. But the parents remembered. The school board noticed. Even some of the town's regulars started showing up at JV games, looking to see if Jace still had the spark. He wouldn't lie, it felt good. But it wasn't the recognition that mattered now. It was the player who finally caught a pass after dropping 10. The one who shyly told him his dad came to watch for the first time. And Eli, who slowly began to carry himself taller, more confident. Midway through the season, Jace was called into the principal's office. His heart pounded as he sat down, memories of old high school lectures creeping back. But the principal just smiled. "Relax, you're not in trouble. Actually, we want to offer you the full-time varsity coaching position next year." For a moment, Jace didn't know what to say. "You were born to do this, Jace," she said. "You know that, right?" And maybe for the first time in years, he actually believed it.